They've been lying to you about how people get rich, and it's costing you years of progress. After reading over 100 of the most popular finance books, I discovered something shocking. The same 11 money principles appear again and again, and they're the real reason people build wealth. In this video, I'll break down these 11 proven rules that self-made millionaires live by, including the one most people ignore until it's too late. Stick around. By the end, you'll have a clear roadmap to transform your finances. To begin with, it may be worthwhile to know your initial financial level, the starting point, so to speak. Take a close look at your accounts, loans, and assets, and then calculate whether your balance is positive or negative. Essentially, you are either in the black or in the red. This is also known as your net worth. Don't worry if you find you have negative equity. Many people have loans and other types of debts. We'll take care of that for sure. The key is to understand where you are right now financially. John D. Rockefeller, even in his teenage years, kept meticulous track of every penny he earned and spent. He called it his ledger, and it was one of his earliest tools for financial control. Understanding where you are financially, just like Rockefeller did, is the first step toward understanding where you're capable of going. Now, it's time to talk about the emergency fund, or more specifically, everyone needs to have a financial safety cushion. And yes, this is something that all financial experts agree on. An emergency fund is money set aside to be used in the event of an unforeseen situation. Ideally, when you need to stay afloat, it is the emergency fund that you use instead of going into debt. If you are laid off from your job, if your car or something in your home breaks down, or if you need money for an operation, an emergency fund will come in handy. Financial experts differ on the size of the fund, but if you can come up with an average number, it would be around 3 to 6 months of your monthly salary. It is important that this money is easily accessible and not invested in the stock market, for example. Rockefeller believed in long-term stability. During the Panic of 1873, when many businesses collapsed, his financial conservatism allowed Standard Oil to survive and expand. He was always prepared for the worst while planning for the best. That's exactly what your emergency fund is for. Don't forget about your budget. No matter how much you earn, it is imperative that you keep track of your finances. A lot of people hate the concept of a budget. For me, for example, it seemed to be synonymous with taking the fun out of spending days and nights making spreadsheets of expenses and income. Some people find it very tedious to keep track of every cent, and I understand you. However, understanding the main point of budgeting, it is how you allow yourself to spend money on what is truly valuable in life, instead of throwing your hard-earned money somewhere without having a clear plan. There are several techniques for budgeting. One common method is the 50-30-20 rule. Its essence is that 50% of your income goes to fixed expenses, rent, food, utilities, etc. 30% goes to entertainment, and 20% goes to savings. Remember, having a plan ensures that your money goes to the best things in your life. You can get rich just by cutting your spending. Many people will not like this fact, but unfortunately, it is true. Of course, saving money has its own important place in the financial literature, but most experts agree that saving money is not enough to get rich. An equally important aspect is to increase your savings by increasing your income, thus creating a surplus. In simple words, exceed your income over your expenses. Think carefully about how you will save, invest, and spend your surplus each month. The best way to do this is to combine these three concepts to increase your savings. Buying things at a discount, using cashback, cutting back on your cell phone or home internet, giving up that morning latte at the coffee shop. These are all good ways to start saving money. But it's much more important to recognize where you can make more money than you do now. When you realize that other places can pay you more, you will start to settle for a decent salary and the prospect of its growth. In addition to earning extra outside of work, your savings will grow over time, and then there will be no need to sacrifice a cup of latte in the morning from your favorite coffee shop. Focusing on income growth is what can bring you much more value and money. Now, let's talk about income diversification. This topic complements the previous point nicely. In addition to actively growing your income, don't forget to diversify your assets. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. For example, you can create an additional small business based on your existing professional skills. A more advanced level is to invest in real estate. The goal is to start earning an income in addition to your day job. Why it's important. Extra money can provide security in uncertain economic times, help you save for a vacation or wedding, supplement your emergency fund or investments. I remember my situation with an unexpected layoff very well. Thanks to the extra income I had outside of my primary job, I was able to maintain my routine for the next few months until I found a new job. One often overlooked skill that can significantly boost your financial growth is negotiation. Whether it's negotiating a salary, lowering your bills, or getting better terms on a loan, negotiation directly affects how much money you keep. John D. Rockefeller was known for striking hard bargains, not out of greed, but out of a deep understanding of value. He once negotiated a major deal to transport his oil by railroad at dramatically reduced rates, which gave Standard Oil a massive edge over its competitors. If you can learn to confidently advocate for yourself, you'll unlock opportunities that most people leave on the table. Start small. Negotiate your phone bill or ask for a raise. With practice, this skill becomes one of the most powerful tools in your wealth-building arsenal. Another common lesson is that not all debt is bad. When I first encountered this thesis, I was extremely surprised that it existed at all. But the more books, articles, and interviews I read about the rich and successful, the more I found that not all debt is bad. So remember this, there is bad debt and there is good debt. Good debt is, for example, a home mortgage or a business loan. The house will increase in value over the years both for sale and for rent, and the store, of course, if it is in demand, it will generate income. Bad debt is outstanding credit card debt for clothes, appliances, weddings, and so on. Bad debts will not help you in the long run. If you have bad debt, first of all, do not beat yourself up about it. Focus on paying it off as soon as possible. Experts advise you to pay off the higher interest debts first and then move on to the lower interest debts. Rockefeller was wary of unnecessary debt. He once said, "If your only goal is to become rich, you will never achieve it." His success came from leveraging opportunities that created long-term value, not short-term indulgences financed by bad debt. The next starting point for our prosperity with you is to set financial goals. Most financial experts agree that setting clear financial goals is critical. This doesn't mean you need to plan out the next 5 years of your life, but having an overall plan will help you make better decisions. Planning a wedding in a year or two? Then you should start saving money in a high-interest rate savings account. But I advise you to keep the funds away from the stock market so you don't have to go negative in a downturn. Thinking about buying real estate? If you have no idea how you are going to do that on your current salary, contact real estate advisors, do your research, ask for a raise at your day job, etc. The bottom line is that any strategy you come up with won't work if you're not motivated to implement it. And it's the goals you set that will provide you that motivation. Think about your future as you think about your present. Once you've mastered the basics, analyzing your net worth, creating a budget, and building a reserve fund, it's time to take your finances to the next level. The key aspect of any path to wealth is investing. Investing is a great tool that can help you live worry-free in retirement, provide stability after having children, and achieve other long-term goals. The sooner you start investing, the more time your money has to compound. This is where the magic of investing really happens. For those not in the know, compound interest is the interest that accrues on the initial amount invested as well as the interest accumulated over previous periods. In general, the longer you let your money grow, the more you will have when you need it. Herein lies the truth about the importance of thinking ahead. Rockefeller was an early master of compounding wealth. He reinvested Standard Oil profits over decades, creating generational wealth through patience and discipline. He once stated, "Do not many of us who fail to achieve big things fail because we lack concentration, the art of concentrating the mind on the thing to be done at the proper time and to the exclusion of everything else." Perhaps the most subtle and crucial thread that runs through all of the financial books is the importance of a positive money mindset. Our relationship to money is often complicated. If you grew up without much wealth in your family, it can be hard to imagine having the resources to invest or build an emergency fund. I remember thinking that way myself, thinking that large sums of money were beyond my control. But the more I learned about finance and its possibilities, the more I realized that wealth is available to everyone. Just think about it in a positive way. Rockefeller famously gave away over $500 million in his lifetime, not out of guilt, but belief. He understood that money was a tool for building, not hoarding. His legacy proves that a wealth mindset isn't just about accumulation. It's about contribution, long-term thinking, and self-belief. If you've learned even one thing today, smash that like button. It's free and it helps more than you think. Good luck and see you all soon. This is the Money Channel. You will get richer.